Hello and welcome back to the Cricket Nerds podcast. It's me and Zac today. That sounded like I forgot your name there. I didn't, I promise.
I'm still
And
Zach.
he is still Zac, thank goodness. And today we're going to be talking about a new rule that the BCCI are trialing in T20 matches that could potentially have a huge impact on the game itself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this rule is having like a test drive, a pilot in our favorite tournament, the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy, which I'm going to shamelessly say that I follow with a passion on Cricinfo. Obviously, being in England, it's very difficult to get actual footage of it, but I spend an unnatural amount of time on Cricinfo anyway.
Yeah, you just wait for the Facebook videos to come with the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy. Yeah,
exactly that. So, do you want to describe this new rule? Because I can't be bothered.
So what they're doing is bringing in substitutes into cricket. Now it has been done previously in the Big Bash, but the rules in the Big Bash were something along the lines of the bowler couldn't have batted. No, the player couldn't have batted it before they were substituted, or if it's a bowler, they couldn't have bowled more than one over if
Yeah,
they're
that's
to be
right.
substituted. Whereas here you have, I think it's after the first 10 overs, you have a chance to substitute them. Oh no, it's after
It's
the
been,
innings. It's after the first innings,
uh,
isn't it? You can
I think
substitute them.
it's just before 14 overs or
Oh,
something like that.
before 14. For some reason in my head, I'm mixing the Big Bash and the new rule
Yeah,
together.
it's easily done.
but yeah, so essentially the main bit is that they've limited the restrictions. So it's more in favor of the team to decide, oh, well, we lost the toss. We're stuck batting first. It's definitely a chasing wicket. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in a death bowler instead of a batsman or something along the lines
Yeah.
to give them that extra advantage so that it's not a win the toss, win the game situation. I think that's the idea of it, because what we've seen in the IPL in the last 2, 3, maybe even more seasons is teams are just winning the toss, chasing, winning the game more often than not. And it can kind of demotivate the viewer in terms of watching it. And I think the way the BCCI were putting it is that the 2020 game is evolving. We need to evolve with it in order for it to be more entertaining. I think that's the idea behind it.
Yeah. So it was even to the point where if you have a top order collapse, let's say for example your Punjab Kings, because then it becomes really relatable. Top order collapses, so you're four down in the power play. What you can do is, and you're batting first, you can substitute your opening batter who went out for a golden duck. You can substitute him out, um, and you can have, or you could like substitute your number 11 or something. I can't remember how it works, but you can literally have another batter in there
Yeah.
again, and they can come
Yeah.
in and bat.
Yeah.
It is pretty crazy when you think about it, because you can just extend your batting lineup as you want, or if you put up a huge score, you can give yourself a sixth death bowler or opening bowler or whatever. You could sub out your your specialist power play bowler. You can sub out Bhuvi and you can put in Natarajan
Mm-hmm.
as the death bowler. Like that, the implications are actually pretty huge. Now, we made sure that we didn't chat about this beforehand, so that we could just find out what each other think about it fresh. So I'm going to ask you, what's your opinion on this rule?
I think that it has the potential to be quite cool because um, I'm glad they're doing it in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy, because the BCCI have obviously seen that the only people who watch it are Indians and James. So the idea behind it is we'll trial it in the one that's not world renowned with all the best players in the world, and we'll see what works and what doesn't work, and maybe adjust it and tinker it so that it's great for the IPL. And I think that the things that make it good are the reason we've already said, but also the fact that it gives you that extra option to get that advantage if you need it. And logistically, you're only allowed you name 4 substitutes before the game. So that adds an extra bit of tactical nous behind it. And then you're only allowed to choose 1. So I think it will provide another element of the game of whether they should have substituted someone in the first place. And if they do, they might have substituted the wrong person. And that could cause future debates and further debates over the result of a cricket game. So for me, I think it adds that extra element, which is quite cool. But then I know cricket really well. So for someone who's not known cricket before, it might be quite confusing. What are your thoughts?
So I've got mixed thoughts because on the one hand, I think it is important for T20 to not become boring, which I think by becoming so exciting, it's almost like TikTok. Like it's just that constant dopamine hit, but there's nothing of value there. When it gets to the point where you're playing like T10s and it's just 6 hitting on tiny grounds, it takes the value out of hitting a 6. Like that's wow, that was amazing. It's just that's standard. Oh, he miscued it. He shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it looks. So I think taking an element of win the toss, win the game out, that's important to do. However, for me, since I've got into cricket, and since I started playing and things like that, the aim has always been to be a genuine all-rounder. That's just what you want to be. Everybody wants to be an all-rounder. It's like a running joke in, if you're filling in for a different team and they say, "Oh, what are you?" You said genuine all-rounder because you want to do everything. And for me, the substitution rule kind of it devalues the necessity for all-rounders, because you look at the best like T20 or just cricket teams in the world, almost all of them have got an amazing all-rounder in there because it balances a team. Now you could just have 6 specialist batsmen and then 5 specialist bowlers, and then you can just substitute one of your batsmen out after batting and get yourself an extra bowler.
Yeah.
And it then means that players that you think have absolute utility, like your Ben Stokes, your Ravi Jadejas, your Hardik Pandjas, they're not as special because it doesn't matter. I can just sub Jason Roy out for Jofra Archer and it's fine. So that's kind of how it feels to me. I don't want, with T20, it is a new thing. It needs to innovate, and that's all good. But also, I don't like change. It's scary.
Yeah, that's how. Well, I'm a bit of a cricket purist, and that Test cricket for me is the pinnacle. I think the longer you make a cricket game, the more options there are for different results and different exciting things to happen. Whereas the shorter games, you can kind of predict what's happened after 10 overs. You can kind of tell who's going to win. You lose 3 wickets in the power play, may as well stop the game and surrender. I don't know. But I think just a scenario which I think would work is that, let's say a team bats first and they're struggling, and you can see quite early on that it's one of those wickets which is it's not the sort where you can just gung-ho get 200. It's the sort where 130, 140 is a great score. In that instance, it brings in the element of someone like a Cheteshwar Pujara, who might be better suited to nerdle it around, get 1s and 2s, and he might be a super sub in a way, and could come in for a big hitter. So that sort of, or maybe a Jinky Rahani as well. He could be a really good player for that sort of situation. And I think the reason I like it is because it creates more situational play. Whereas in cricket, you can kind of have some players in an 11 that become redundant, and it's like, why are they there? Like you see like the all-rounders who don't get a bat and will get like 1 over. And it's like, what's the point?
I definitely see that.
Yeah, it's kind of a balancing act between getting rid of all rounders and using your rounders properly. So we'll see. Like, it's going to happen in the Side Mushtaqali Trophy, and if everyone comes out and says it was great, we loved it, then we'll see it in the IPL. And if everyone turns around and says no, it's rubbish, we'll probably still see it in the IPL. I think it's, I don't know, it'll be something that they can sponsor, so it will get money. So there
Yeah.
we go.
Sweet. Well, those are our thoughts. We're really keen on finding out what you guys think. So let us know in the comments down below. Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it'll add more tactics to the game? Or do you think it's an abomination and all cricket should only be test match and the white ball should be banned? That is a valid opinion too. So yeah, let us know down below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell your friends. We love growing this channel. We love doing videos and stuff. So yeah, let us know how we can improve. You can also follow our social medias. We are at Cricket Nerds Pod. You can listen to our podcast on podcast listening sites. Other than that, nice. I'm not going to go into detail. They can find them. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.